What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Sly Jordy, and welcome back to F1 23 My Team career mode for the Imola Grand Prix. And you might be wondering why our intro is a lot different today. I must have accidentally deleted the intro clip that I originally did. I've got no idea where it went. So to get you up to speed, of course, last episode was Baku, I'm pretty sure, which was a pretty mixed race for everyone involved. Mainly me. We crashed out in the sprint. It did not go very well at all, but in the race we managed to recover up to P4, so that was great. And now we go into Imola, just about keeping the lead in the championship ahead of our teammate George Russell. Constructors really high up, so we've got nothing to worry about on that front. In terms of R&D, the other teams are catching up a little bit, mainly Red Bull and McLaren, so keep an eye out for them in this Grand Prix. But I think Ferrari are also there as well. Some big R&D changes going into the next couple of races, including this one. Apologies for not being able to show you the R&D chart. Again, I have no idea what the intro clip meant, when. I must have accidentally deleted it or something. I am so confused. I genuinely have no idea where it went. But here we go, setting our first lap of Imola. A bit of a shaky start, not the cleanest lap so far, but this is to just get us on the board. Of course, we do short qualifying over here, so we'll have a second lap to have a go at it, of course. But yeah, not the greatest lap, not the greatest sector 1 ever, but the rest of the lap seems to be pretty tidy so far, not doing so bad at all, but again, we'll want to improve on that second lap. And with the other teams slowly catching up in terms of R&D, we're in a bit of trouble. We might be in a bit of trouble, but we've been really consistent throughout this season in terms of gaining big points, so you know, we've still got a really good opportunity, of course. And we've set the fastest lap of the session, faster than Sergio Perez, faster than the McLarens as well, so we could pretty much just go straight back to the garage, ready for our second lap, of course. So yeah, already guys are going quicker than us, so that's certainly something to worry about, at least a little bit, as we now take to the track for our second go of it. So P7 in the leaderboard so far, which is not to our standard. We need to do a lot better here. So here we go, and first things first, we're on the main straight, pretty much the same time so far, but oh my god, those first couple of turns, way better, so much so that we actually gain almost 2 tenths, well over a tenth there. And that corner, excellently done as well. Compared to our first lap, we are now 2 tenths up on our original time. Up the hill now, this is where we're going to want to gain as much speed as possible. And here we go, up to the chicane, absolutely beautifully done. And look at the time gain right there, so much time gained, over 5 tenths, half a second gained on our original lap, as Oscar Piastri sets a 1 minute 12 dead, so very, very close there. And we might not be able to top that, but let's see how close we actually do get. There we go, and I think that might be, yes, a P2, so I noticed we weren't quicker than Oscar Piastri as we crossed the line there, but still a really, really good lap from us. And P2 is just not bad at all, but Piastri, I mean, look at the McLarens. Yuki Tsunoda in P3, so McLaren looking really, really strong around Imola right now, so without a doubt they'll be in for a good race. Max Verstappen doesn't qualify very well, P8 for him. Sergio Perez and Carlos Sainz down in P13 and 14. It looks like there may have been a lot of track evolution as we went for the second lap, because you may have noticed, had I not cut it before, but as we started that last lap, there were still some cars in the pits, including our teammate George Russell, so that's why he's in P5. Who knows where he could have been if he went out for another lap, but there we go. P2, really good. let's go to the grid.
This race has gone by several former names: the Italian Grand Prix, the San Marino Grand Prix, and now the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. It's race day. We're at Imola. Welcome. One lap of Imola, anti-clockwise of course, unlike most Formula One circuits, will take our drivers around 3.1 miles of track, 19 turns, 9 right-handers and 10 to the left. Drivers will need to be precise at the hairpin at turn 7, given the subsequent uphill section. Without a good exit from that corner, they'll lose a lot of time on that stretch. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Oscar Piastri lines up on pole position, and the owner-driver alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Tsunoda, Leclerc, Russell, Bottas, Norris, Verstappen, Théo Pourchaire, Ocon, Perez, Sainz, Stroll, Albon, Liam Lawson, Drugovich, Joe, Magnussen, Sargent, Deruvala, Gasly, and Nick de Vries. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. A warm welcome to Anthony Davidson, who's beside me in the commentary box today. So let's start with Lance Stroll. They've had to change their gearbox, of course, but it's never a good start to a Grand Prix when right off the bat, you have to contend with a grid penalty.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
Well, here we are starting in P2 at Imola right here. I'm quite excited for this, to be honest with you. Yeah, we've always done pretty well at Imola. Well, Season 1 we didn't, but since Season 2 we've done pretty well at Imola, so I'm quite confident for this race.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out. We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
And now we just wait for all the cars to line up at the grid. We're trapped in a McLaren sandwich. I'm pretty positive that George Russell will be able to work his way through the field, given his track record so far. I mean, he is literally just right there in P5, so I'm quite confident he'll get a good start, maybe a better start than the Ferrari, perhaps maybe a better start than the McLarens. We shall see, but we wait for the final car, the AlphaTauri of Nick de Vries, to line up on the grid to kick off the Imola Grand Prix for the final time in F1 23. And it's lights out and away we go, and Piastri doesn't get the greatest start ever as we briefly go out ahead in P1, but we are now side by side going into turn 1, and that McLaren upgrade is paying dividends. But Leclerc's had a good start as well. Bottas had a pretty good start, almost caught Russell. We know they have had some history at this track, but yeah, we managed to go around the outside of Oscar Piastri, and we are now in P1, so it's a great start for us. Unfortunately, Russell hasn't had the greatest of starts. He's pretty much stagnated where he was, but at least he's not fallen low in positions. You know, he's still in P5. It's a, you know, it's a decent, it's an all-right start, whatever. But we've just got to focus on our race so far as we look to keep ahead of our former Season 3 title rival, Oscar Piastri. Literally so close to winning that title he was. And it literally came down to the final race of who placed higher, and turned out it was us that day in Vegas, or that night in Vegas, should I say. But yeah, those McLarens are looking really quick, so yeah, definitely something to be worried about as we immediately skip over to lap 3, the beginning of lap 3, and Oscar Piastri, there he goes past us. He's not even using DRS there. But George Russell does set the fastest lap, so that is a really, really good sign. So regardless of how we do, we know Russell's got the speed and the capabilities, and we might even let him pass us if he gets close enough. But yeah, skipping on to lap 6, and we are still trailing behind Oscar Piastri. He has got some insane pace in that McLaren, and Yuki Tsunoda's got some insane pace as well, as he does make the overtake for us with the help of DRS, but he would have made that overtake anyway, and these tyres are completely going off at this point. They feel awful. I don't know what it was, but as soon as we progressed onto lap 7, it's as if the tyres skipped to the next phase. Like, lap 6 they felt fine, but now they feel absolutely awful, and I'm actually debating an early pit stop here, but so far we're doing alright. I used Tsunoda a little bit to gain some time on Oscar Piastri, and we managed to make the overtake on Tsunoda with better positioning, but he is still there, so we need to be careful. And wow, just the McLarens are doing so much better right now. It might just come down to conserving tyre wear, well, saving the tyres, should I say, because man, we have not done a good job of that. We've just been pushing from the get-go, and yeah, these tyres are really worn out. Look at that, as Tsunoda once again makes the pass on us. George Russell is there as well, and we are just not doing well on these tyres. At this point, I'm literally just letting George pass us. It, you know, does the team a lot more good if we actually let him pass. And yeah, we're going for an early pit stop, a lap earlier, but at this rate, we probably should have gone 2 laps earlier onto the hards or something like that. But here we are, going on to lap 10. We're pitting for the mediums. Hopefully these will be a lot better. I was debating the hards because of the amount of tyre wear that we had on the softs, but I don't want to lose the speed that we do have. So I'm going to go with the mediums. If, you know, we get into a bit of trouble towards the end of the race, it is what it is. But yeah, here we go. Coming out of the pits now behind Nick de Vries. So there must have been a bit of a collision earlier on with Kevin Magnussen. I know Lando Norris in the Mercedes ended up having an engine failure, as you can see, DNF. So maybe the Williams of Magnussen got caught up in that, I'm not sure. But here we are, guys, right behind the AlphaTauri of Nick de Vries. How he's managed to stay on that team for so long in this career mode, for the entire series pretty much, I will never know. You know, even his teammate Yuki Tsunoda went to another team, and Alexander Albon ended up at AlphaTauri after Hamilton's retirement. I have no idea what happened, but you know, it is what it is. We made the pass on Nick de Vries, and this is where the title comes from. This is where the issues are going to start. Somehow, Oscar Piastri managed to gain time since the pit stops, which I have no idea how, but maybe this is how. Look at the speed that Max Verstappen was carrying on the straight there. Now, this should not be happening. I've never encountered this bug before. Apparently this was a thing in F1 22, and apparently it is a bug for some people here. I know we've turned the difficulty up very recently, up to 97, and since we've done that, it seemed fine, but then we get to Imola right here, and the straight line speed for these cars. Look at Verstappen here. He should not be carrying this much speed at all. Like, we're in maxed out cars in the MyTeam career at this point, and yeah, eventually they do pass us, and it's not just Verstappen, but it's the other guys. Look at how much speed they're carrying. Like, this is, oh wow, just at this point, like, I was just so frustrated. Like, they gained so much speed on us that I'm literally falling out of the points from what was a net P2 essentially. And yeah, as we come out on the hards, I mean, look at the timing here. Look at how much time Perez, who's pitted on the same lap as us, is gaining compared to us. This is ridiculous. This is literally ridiculous, and at this point I just saw the writing on the wall. I was just not going to do the rest of the race like this, and yeah, decided to retire from the session. I've never ran into a bug like that before. That is insane. We're going to turn the difficulty down to 95 permanently. That's ridiculous. I've never experienced that, and I hope we never do again. That ruined what was a pretty good race so far. It's such a shame, but let's look at the results. Oh, okay. That's good. That's good.
There'll be celebrations tonight. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Welcome then to the podium, our top 3 drivers. What a great effort from them today in a very difficult race.
So despite the game bugging out and giving me overpowered AI in the second stint, George Russell has managed to overtake both McLarens and take the win for the team. So that will be really, really good in terms of, our constructors fight. But of course, it's not much of a fight at this point. We've just been so consistent. Literally, if Russell slips up, I pick up all the points. If I slip up, Russell picks up the maximum points. It's a great partnership. It's the best one we've had ever. And yeah, I'm glad that has happened at the very least. But yeah, very odd glitch right there. I mean, at least it'll be good for the title, I suppose. I really hope I do gain some views off of it. But yeah, that is a big issue. I knew it was a massive issue in F1 22. But I thought 23 had fixed it, but apparently not. Maybe it's a difficulty thing. Like, maybe once you're at a certain difficulty, the AI are, overpowered. I'm not sure, but that's literally scared me off from doing 97 now. Even though I am capable of it, clearly, it's basically scared me off of doing it. So we're moving back down to 95, which was fine before. We're the best car on the grid anyway. But yeah, definitely strange. And hopefully we don't run into that anytime soon. It is a shame, because I do love Imola and I wanted a really good race for our final one. But yeah, can't be helped really. Anyway, guys, cheers for watching. I'll see you all next time. Peace.